Hi, I'm John.
And I'm Dave, and this is the basic sentence.
So what is a sentence?
A sentence is a group of words arranged into a structure to make meaning.
Right. The key is to learn what the structure is and how it works. Think of it like this. You can have a big pile of lumber, but you can't live in it, not until you nail that lumber into a structure. Then you've got a house.
So words are like boards, and sentences are like houses.
Exactly. And every house has two basic parts, walls and a roof. And sure, you can put more stuff on a house like gutters and windows, but remember, we're starting with the basics that every house must have.
And without walls and a roof, you do not have a domicile.
Every sentence works exactly the same as a house. It has two essential parts, a subject and a predicate. The predicate is what is happening in the sentence, and the subject is the person or thing doing the predicate.
So let's look at a really basic sentence. Ogami ran. What's happening? Running. And who's doing it? Ogami.
Ogami is the subject, and ran is the predicate.
Every sentence works the same way, and we use this icon to help us remember that structure. A subject plus a predicate makes a sentence, just like walls plus a roof makes a house.
This subject plus predicate pattern shows up three different ways. Sometimes, the subject simply does something.
The crowd gathered.
Sometimes, the subject's actions affect another person or thing.
The assassins raised their swords.
And sometimes, the subject simply exists. Like a lonely monk in a tall mountain, a subject just is.
The old man was weary.
This last form is the hardest to spot. Existing might not seem like an action, but it is.
To be or not to be, that really is the question.
One tricky type of subject is the kind that looks like an action.
Fighting for justice is a dangerous business. What's this sentence all about? Fighting for justice. And what is fighting for justice? It is a dangerous business.
Here's another way that actions might work as subjects.
To face your enemies demands courage.
Sometimes one sentence can have multiple people or things serving as the subject. For instance, Takashi and his 5 brothers listen to the wind.
See, Takashi is one subject, and his 5 brothers are another subject, but they're both doing the same predicate.
And sometimes one sentence can have multiple predicates. Ogami stood at the cliff and pondered his cruel fate.
Ogami is doing 2 things here. Number 1, he is standing, and number 2, he is pondering.
2 types of sentences look tricky, but they're not as bad as they seem. One type is the command. The predicate is easy to find here, draw. But what is doing the drawing? The sword? No, the sword can't draw itself.
The subject for every command is actually always the same. It's you, the listener. You are drawing the sword. But because we're talking directly to the person we're commanding, we don't actually say the word you, we just imply it.
The other type of tricky sentence is the question. With most questions, all we do is take a regular statement and shove the subject into the middle of the predicate. So, you are lost becomes, are you lost?
So that's a brief introduction to the basic sentence, but there are several details we didn't get to in this video. To truly master this first grammatical structure, go to our website, read the unit, do the practice exercises, and study the review video.
Once you've mastered the basic sentence, not covered it, but mastered it, you'll be ready for the second structure, fanboys and semicolons.
Until then, I'm Dave.
And I'm John.
And this is No BS Grammar.
Banzai!